is the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent Podcast, hosted by me, Kelly Donahue-Piro. This show is for growing insurance agencies looking to maximize their biggest investment, their people. Listen to the top agency performance partners clients share their story on how they boosted their performance by executing a plan. Let's head to the show. Hey everyone, Kelly Donahue-Piro here with another Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent Podcast. And this one is special because this one I shot with my husband while we were on our 10th anniversary trip to Yellowstone. And my husband is somebody that a lot of people don't know. He's not on social media. He's only on Instagram. And so a lot of people are always very curious about what our life looks like without kids and with me traveling all the time. So it's a good time for us to connect, share with you our 10-year goals, what we have going on, and just spend some time getting to know the other half, Mr. Andrew Piro. So without further ado, let's do it. Hey everybody. Well, it's Kelly Donahue-Piro here, and I have a very, very special guest on our podcast here today. Do you know who this is? This is my husband, Andrew Piro, and we're recording this in Montana on our 10th anniversary trip. We've been snowed in for a few days. So we thought, why not share a little bit more about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Andrew Piro.
Oh, the myth.
That's what we hear because see, you're not on Facebook. So people sometimes I think don't think you exist.
Yeah, I don't really believe in Facebook.
He's not a huge Facebooker. So I do tag you in photos from time to time.
That's okay.
That's okay. So I thought it'd be fun to get to know my husband, Andrew Piro, because we get a lot of questions about our wild and crazy lifestyle of not having kids, me leaving every week and jaunting all over the
wild and crazy,
the God's green earth and how that all works. So I thought it would be kind of fun to start with, how did we meet?
Wow. How did we meet? Yeah. So I used to work in mortgages, and one day Kelly came into the shop I was working at as a representative of a bank, or lender, I should say. Kelly used to be a lender representative for a short stint in her career. And that was really it.
Well, I think the story goes on that you had one of the creepiest bosses I've ever met in my life.
Yes. Rick was very, very creepy with the ladies, actually.
And this was a little bit before the Me Too movement.
That's right.
So there was.
That's right. Rick says to me after Kelly left, he said, "I think she's warm to your form."
And so then I was moving to Rhode Island. And he kept asking me out and I kept saying, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And then I don't know why I said yes one day. And you took me out on our first date.
You said no? I don't remember that.
I definitely.
Selective memory. Right.
You're blocking that part out. So yes, he took me out on our first date to this overly cheesy Italian restaurant where like the portion sizes were gigantic. And
Marchetti's.
Do you want to tell this story or do you want me to?
No, it's better coming from you.
So we sit down and I wasn't really interested in being there. I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm here. And we sit down at this Italian restaurant and he orders a pina colada.
Not just any pina colada. A giant pina colada
with the straw and the umbrella. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, what am I doing?
One of the big bowl cups.
Mm-hmm. And then I think you had veal parm in your pina colada. And I was just like, I have to get out of here. I think I went home and told my best friend at that point, I was like, I don't know what I just did. But somehow I went out with you again and again and
you
again.
Enjoyed yourself. Don't lie.
So, ladies out there, if you see a guy with a pina colada on your first date, don't run. It might turn into something special. And this leads me to the other thing. So we were getting ready. We decided we were going to have some wine here to celebrate our anniversary. And Andrew and I have a thing for fine wines, except he does something that I still struggle with. I'm really on the struggle bus with, which is I actually put an ice cube in his
I do it no matter
wine.
How expensive the red wine is. I like my wine chilled.
Or where we are.
And I've mortified several sommeliers in my day by doing this with overly expensive bottles of wine I paid for.
Yeah.
And I don't really care.
We'll go out to nice Michelin star restaurants because that's kind of our thing. We're foodies. And he'll be like, can I get some ice with that wine? And I'm just like, But that's one of the things I love about you, babe, is you don't really care what other people think.
That is correct.
He does not.
Never have.
Never have.
That's why I'm not on Facebook.
That's why
Even though I get ridiculed and tortured by almost everyone.
Mhm.
Oh, you don't have Facebook. How do you not have Facebook?
It probably keeps things better in life, not having a Facebook.
For me?
And just in general.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you are on
people do get
LinkedIn. You're on Instagram.
Yeah.
You're not void of all social media.
No. I don't do the typical things that people do. I do like to post pictures of adventures that we take or cool things that I see. And that's interesting to me, but giving a status update really isn't my thing. So.
It's true. This is true.
Status, I'm usually working. So, I mean, if you want to go on Facebook and see, oh, Andrew's working. What's Andrew doing? Oh, he's working again. Oh, he's not working, but he is still working. So,
well, why don't you tell people what you do?
I'm currently an engineer for a large privately owned healthcare company.
And so things were pretty crazy during COVID for you.
Yeah, I'm actually the head engineer. So it's very, it was very interesting times. It's still interesting times. Things truly aren't 100% out of the woods yet. But healthcare is an interesting field.
It is an interesting field. So we've been married 10 years. We dated 5 years. So the reality
We're
is,
married?
Yeah. See, sometimes he claims that, and then I start looking into nursing homes for dementia. It's more of a joke for him though. So we've been together for 15 years. And do you remember when I came home one day? I had a 6-figure job, 100% healthcare benefits. We had been married for like
And she
7
was being
minutes.
groomed to take over the entire marketing, and she was basically being groomed to become vice president of a bank. And
No, I was thinking about when I said I wanted to go as self-employed.
yeah, I think you.
No, that was at Astonish.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was before that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, there was a time I left the bank to go to Astonish.
that's right. Yeah.
And then
that
there
is
was
true.
the time that I came home. So I like to take more risks than he does, although you've come a long way on that. You
It's
used to
just
be far more risk
Well, it's just in a
averse.
different way. That's all.
Yeah. So a couple times I've thrown him for a curveball. One was early on in our relationship when I decided I was going to leave this credit union that I was being groomed to take over the marketing and the, basically everything for the bank, insurance, all of it. And I was like, I don't think I want to do this. I want to go to this startup tech company in insurance that's going to pay me about the same, less benefits. And it's a total gamble.
Yeah.
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 And then I think you met the owners and you were like, yeah, let's talk about how wild and crazy they
Well,
were.
one of them, yeah, I was very worried after I met one of them. The other one seemed mostly rational. So,
But I did that, and that was a good move.
but I like to support you in what you want to do. So it's not the end of the world to me.
Which is a big deal. He does that very, very, very well. In that same time frame, we had a pipe burst at our condo in a unit above us, and all of us had to evacuate. And we lived in an extended stay hotel for 9 months,
Yeah, that was
where our dog at the time would break free and run rampant through the hotel, and we used to have him put on lockdown so she couldn't escape. And you were working for the Pawtucket Red Sox then.
That's right. I was working in baseball.
He was in minor league baseball, which was a whole nother ball of fun.
I was the operations engineer for the McCoy Stadium.
The farm team of the Red Sox.
That is correct.
So if anybody needs to know, the Red Sox have paid our bills from time to time. And you got to meet some pretty cool people rehabbing there.
It wasn't a terrible experience. It's just that's a difficult.
It's difficult hours.
You basically have no life for the entire baseball season.
So my favorite thing about when Andrew would work at the Paw Sox was him explaining how they would work sometimes a doubleheader based on rain makeups. And then the Boy Scouts would do campouts on the field because it had this huge Jumbotron, and somebody would have to stay overnight with the Boy Scouts. So not only did you work a doubleheader, but then you had to be there as the point person for the camp situation.
I did pawn that off as soon as I was able to find somebody willing to do it though. So.
So then the second time I threw you for the curveball was, I had been.
When you wanted to do this?
Yeah, when I wanted to do this. And again, we'd been married for 7 minutes.
This is true.
But like 7 minutes. It might have been 7 minutes and 30 seconds. And I just saw the company going in a different direction that I didn't believe in. And even though I was making really good money, I wasn't happy. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, it was just come home every night telling me how it really wasn't for you. You didn't like how they didn't like to give customer service. And that's really a big thing since I've known Kelly is that, giving good customer service to people that she works with is important and makes people want to come back. And it's a variety of reasons, but she believes in that a lot. And was I still working in baseball or did I move into healthcare at that point?
I feel like you were in healthcare at that point because that was one of the reasons that we did it was because I could get on your health insurance.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
We always say the biggest raise he ever got was one of them at that point in our lives, when I got put on the company health insurance for free because his company has got really good health insurance.
That's right. Yeah.
So I came home and I was like, so listen, I think what I want to do is spend the next 6 months, see you like 1 day a week, go on the road. Cause I was heavily commissioned. I was like, I'll blitz all these trainings.
That's not how it went. You said, I'm going to quit my job. We're going to live off your paycheck and your health insurance. And we're going to need all this money in savings. I'm going to start a company. I'm like, okay. Do you have any clients? Well, maybe I have one. Okay, cool. Let me know when you have a plan.
And then I said, my plan is to go sell and just blitz as much as I humanly possibly can all across the country because I got paid a commission on new contract sales, but then also delivering them. So I basically left either Monday morning or Sunday, and I'd come home late Friday night or Saturday morning with the target in mind of how much we had to bank up in savings to be not panic attacking every night.
Yeah. And she was on the road. Pretty much 3 weeks out of the month for, I want to say 3-4 months.
Yeah. And then I did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then the funny thing is I'm trying to come up with the name for this company. And I called them up one day and I'm like, I have it. I grew up doing dance. So I was a little prima ballerina, which is a whole other story in life. And so the word performance always meant a lot to me. And I would play around the name, you have to try to figure out URLs to buy. And I was like, I'm going to name it Agency Performance Partners. And he's just like, of course you are. And I was like, why? He goes, those are my initials. So I'll definitely get royalties from this company if you're going to borrow my initials for it. And I was like, oh, here we go. So that's when it was kind of like all set in stone that was going to be the deal.
I'm still waiting on those royalty checks.
Yeah. 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 Well, we have to reinvest, honey. That's the deal.
Absolutely.
So that was a long time ago. So what is our life like now? Because I think this is a question I get weird questions like, does your husband let you travel like this? And I always think that's kind of funny. And then I think you get weird questions like,
yeah, how do you let your wife travel then? I never really looked at a human being as something to control. So this is what Kelly likes to do. Makes her very happy. She's very good at it. So what am I going to say? No, don't do what you really want to do in your life. And we make it work. We still have great time together. The time that we do get to spend together is much more meaningful. And I just have a different outlook on it than most people.
Now, every day is not easy, right? Like there's times where it's hard that I'm not home.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Lots of things still need to be taken care of. There's, decisions that need to be made but we make it work and I don't even think about it anymore.
I actually think we do better when we spend some time apart.
No, who wouldn't?
Some people don't. Some people don't.
Those people end up getting divorced.
Yeah. We're not really codependent people.
No. I'm extremely busy myself. So, it just works.
Yeah, I think it works. No, it'd be nice to do a little bit less, but we have big goals that we have to hit. So I think that's one of the things that makes us work really well together is we're very goal focused and goal driven. So neither one of us came from like much of anything. I mean, my family wasn't desolate or anything like that, but my family's challenges.
Pretty standard middle class.
Pretty standard middle class. And so everything we have to hustle for.
Yeah, I was born with the affliction of, you could hand me a magazine full of things, no prices attached to them. I will point to the most expensive thing that I will like the most.
Yes.
And I learned early on, the only way that I'm ever going to get any of it is to work hard and make different decisions than people do. So.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Sure.
Because I think one of the things that as we have gotten older and identified who we are more and more, I know we've kind of cycled through sometimes some people and friends and things like that maybe weren't as supportive of our mission to hustle so much.
Yeah, it's a lot of times you have to leave people behind, and people that are on the same page as you and the vision that you have for your life. You gotta either limit your interaction with them, or if you continue to do the same things you've always done, you're going to get the same results. So if you want to do something different and you want to do something better in your life, you got to change almost everything a lot of times. And I have friends that I still love dearly and I still talk to, but I don't spend as much time with because they have been stuck in the same mentality and want to do the same things they've always done. And I can't really waste my time doing that. And so I find new people that have the same goals and aspirations, and your time's better spent with people that have the same visions and outlook as you do. And it's tough doing that. It really is.
Well, we've even dealt with it with family members.
Yeah, it's true.
Where it's, I think we have some family members that
we get a lot of ridicule. I get a lot of ridicule from my family about how much I work and, the things that I aspire to do and work toward doing. So.
Yeah. And that's really hard.
It is. I mean, as the last couple of years have actually gotten a lot easier for me, at least personally. I just don't really care.
What goes into the great words of Diddy, my grandfather, right?
They can kick him right off the bus.
Diddy didn't say kick people off the bus.
No,
he said, don't care about what people think if you wouldn't trade places with them.
That's right.
And that's always been a very, very true statement. Every time I've been at odds or in a weird situation with people, I've always looked and been like, you know what, the thing is our values are just very different. And they're maybe not as supportive of my goals in life. And so it's time to find other people who are super supportive.
And they, a lot of people just look at things differently. A lot of people don't realize that by putting yourself in a position where you're doing well and you're whatever your goal is, you're more than likely able to help them in a time that they would need it. Whereas, my family couldn't really help me at all if I needed them to, financially or any other way. So,
yeah. It's just an interesting scenario of, I think you and I both get burned out with people we've known for a long time. And like, they have the complaining of, well, this and that, but they don't do anything different about it. And so it's like, well, after a couple of years of you seeing a pattern, it's hard to not see that the pattern might be the person has to change, and you can be supportive and provide guidance. But 5 years later, if the problem still is the same,
you got to do it. You got to make small incremental improvements, no matter what. And some people don't, and that's fine too. But that's their choice.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't mind working hard toward things.
Right, even if that means weekend time.
We pretty much work 7 days a week most of the time.
We do. And some people feel like that's crazy, or people be like, how does your husband feel about it? And I mean, we have our goals documented We've been pretty blessed to be able to hit most of them, even some curveballs that have even come our way recently that were unanticipated. And so it's just kind of a situation of, hey, if we're on track to hit our goals, there'll be a day where all this game changes a little bit too.
That is correct. And I don't, people don't see me working as much as they see Kelly, because Kelly is, has a lot of clients and she's visible on social media a lot. I don't post stuff like that, but she's working, and in the background I'm working also. So it's not even really noticeable. I mean, sometimes I have to cajole her to put her laptop away, but
that's when I don't respond to emails within 35 minutes. I'm just kidding. Did you ever think you see me wearing flannel, by the way? I'm just admiring the fact I'm wearing flannel. It's very
like true flannel.
And
too,
you're wearing flannel too.
Paul Bunyan flannel.
Yeah. We didn't really have clothes to go to Montana with, so we had to make an emergency trip to LL Bean the week before we came to Montana to say.
It's nice out here, though.
It's beautiful out here.
It is. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. If anyone can ever come to Montana, we haven't seen Rip or Beth just yet. And we haven't found the Dutton Ranch, but it's been snowing a lot here. So it's part of the game, right? Can we talk about our best friend, America, for a second?
Oh, America. Yeah, she's the cutest.
Yeah. So we had a dog before, Roxy, who I had before I met Andrew. But she adored Andrew, and she lived to be literally like 15 and 11 months.
Yeah, she almost made it to 16.
Yeah. The dog was grandma style for about 2 or 3 years.
She was
super grandma style, but she was just the very loyal, very, I don't know how to explain her. She was far more aloof than this dog, but she was just very, she was our pack leader. That's what she wanted with her life.
Roxy was a more of a loner and more of a...
She's a guard dog.
More of a guard dog. She only liked about 4 people.
Yeah.
She was very, very protective, even when she was old.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of funny. America is a dog of the people. She likes anybody and everybody, as long as you pet her or give her a treat. She does not discriminate.
Yeah, she is a love bug by all stretch of the imagination. And so I had to convince him to get a dog because I was ready. He was not. And then I think we sort of came to the conclusion, because we tried to adopt this dog that was the same breed as Roxy. And the name of the dog was Mushu, which is funny because she was a Shar Pei, and they're Chinese dogs. So the idea that our dog could be named after Chinese food really...
It was kind of funny.
It made me laugh, but we missed out on Mushu. Then that got us on the dog hunt. And so I put in this crazy application, and he agreed. And we found out like 12 hours later, we were getting a dog the next day during COVID, which nothing was open. And it was like a huge scramble. And so we rescued her from a kill shelter, but her name online was Molly Moo, which we knew we had to change because that was a horrible name for any animal. And so when I went to go pick her up, because he was working, they're like, who are you here for? And I said, Molly Moo. And they didn't have a Molly Moo. And I was like, no, wait, here's the picture. Like, here's all the paperwork. And they looked at me and they go, America? And I was like, this is Molly Moo. And it got me thinking, because we didn't really know what we were going to name the dog.
The name stuck.
Well, he was like, I can't name our dog America. I was like, I think we kind of have to name our dog America. Because this was all before the president. This was like the year of the presidential election. So America's divided. She was black and white, and there's all this racial tension. And she was just a little love bug. And so she's Miss America to the vet. Her actual prescriptions come saying Miss America. She's America, depending on your political affiliations. You can always tell when they meet America. Oh, America. We have Captain America. But then you've named our dog something very special.
Monkus.
Yes, he's got a way to nickname dogs. And why did you name her Monkus?
Well, she's like a bunch of monkeys.
She is like, if you're laying down, she will like crawl on you and like just like breathe on your face. Like,
she's very clingy.
Yes, but she's the biggest love bug.
She is very cute.
Yeah, and the people at her doggy daycare love her.
She will just offer no protection for our household or our belongings.
No, in fact, if you walk by her on the street, you're not a dog person. She actually sits down and kind of gets upset that you didn't love on her.
Why didn't they pet me?
Mm-hmm. And if you do like her, she will roll over on her belly on the street and say, you can pet my belly.
It's kind of a nice change of pace. I mean, Roxy, we couldn't take her anywhere. She she was very pretty and very unique looking. So people wanted to try to pet her, but she would not allow that.
She's not a fan.
No, she only really liked me.
She's like my mom. She liked
your
your
mom,
dad.
and my dad.
Until Roxy had a thing against the UPS
She tolerated
driver.
Diane.
Yeah, but Roxy had a thing against the UPS drivers. I think one day she saw your dad in a UPS outfit because his dad used to drive for UPS, and like she had like a little mental breakdown over it.
She didn't know what to do.
She couldn't quite comprehend the whole.
A lot of growling and looking at me like, who is this?
Yeah. So what should we share with everybody what our future plans are? Because I'm a big believer of like, if we tell people out there, then we're held accountable to hitting our goals. I'm going to pour a glass of wine for this. You want to refill here?
Well, I mean, are together goals or like individual or?
I think all of them. Got to put out in the universe, right?
Sure.
I would like us to start mining crypto.
I know.
Okay. That was one of my goals. We want to buy 4 investment properties a year.
I actually want to do 6, but
I said 1 a quarter, but
she says that I'm averse to risk, but
then you put the crypto mining in the basement.
I'm only averse to certain risk. Whereas things that aren't as much of a risk, she's like, well, I don't know.
We're going to buy a building for APP and have a conference room center. Hopefully have clients come to us more.
Yep. Probably.
Depending on how the world goes, office space could be cheap in the next year or so.
Yeah. I'm going to be moving out of healthcare, and my goal is to become self-employed. I am one of the many things I do for the company I work for. We have a construction company that I am the project manager, licensed contractor. I basically do everything. I run the whole thing. So I'm a licensed contractor on my own contracting company. So one of the things I like to do is acquire and value add real estate. And I really feel that that's what my true skill set and passion is. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do.
I agree.
And if you want to throw some crypto miners and some closets at the house, that's fine. I don't really care. I do like I buy and sell a lot of cryptocurrency and stocks on the side.
Yeah, I think he can manage our stock portfolio pretty good.
I try to tell Kelly it's not the same as it used to be, but
that's
can still make some money at crypto mining.
I think you got to be ahead of the curve, We want to have a second home. So we want to turn our condo. He's finishing it off, making it all very high-end finishes so we can put on an Airbnb or corporate rental. Because we live in a very posh little community. And so on the weekends, that's a lot of times what he's up to is remodeling everything. How many just so people understand, how many pieces of molding are in the crown molding in the dining room?
6 or 7.
So he does like crazy, cool, high-end stuff like that.
Yep. It's all milled in my shop. All the pieces are milled from raw stock.
He's built beautiful exposed closets, which mine is next. Word on the street is.
Oh, I meant to tell you.
Oh, yeah. So he takes everything down on the studs and then raises ceilings, all that cool stuff.
I don't do it alone. The guys help me.
Yeah, the guys help you, which is true. We should give them some credit too.
I do have some good employees that work for me, so and they don't mind. Well, depends. Luckily, they all are very poor with their finances, and they don't listen to me about how to save and plan for the future. So they always need extra money. So it benefits me on the weekends.
This is true. They work for the company during the day and on the weekends with you, which is good. We want to get a vacation home in the next 10 years.
This is true. That's a goal I have. Yep.
Because
have a vacation home.
The amount of quantity of time we work, sometimes it's hard to take like true vacations. And it's nice if you can just kind of get away for a few days.
It is, even here on our anniversary. I mean, Kelly's worked every day. I've actually not worked as much, but I still found myself working, taking emails, phone calls, directing traffic from afar.
Yes. I also want to try to turn some of the shares of my company into employee owned so that way some key employees have some skin in the game.
As long as it doesn't affect my royalties.
That's right. You got to get back to the house first. Another thing we talked about this week that I want to do is I would like to start making a certain percentage, I guess is the right word, of our income to addiction charities, because that's something that has affected my life pretty dramatically.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to be able to do more for other people that have a hard time on their own.
And save puppies.
That's a tough one because I would save a lot of animals. I like animals. I like animals more than people most of the time.
I like animals more than people too. That's probably why we get along so much.
This is true.
People are not as cool as the animals, let's be honest. Anything else you can think of?
No,
I know I have a goal of trying to not fly commercial all the time. Not like 100% necessarily private, but
I would like to get Kelly a plane personally, but that's my thing. That's not really her thing.
totally uneconomical for our clients that are freaking out right now. By the way, this would be more of a company expense, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, it would be my plan. I'd let you use.
No, that's right. It'd be his plane.
that's not really.
And see, this is where we vary, because I kind of want like an Air Force One type plane with like a bed and a shower and like an office, and basically a flying house. And I don't think that that's probably.
Yeah. I tried to tell you how much those cost, but listen, the plane that I would like is still not a shabby plane. So
there you go.
You still have a shower and a bed. You just won't be able to seat 20 people.
One of our biggest marital confusion points is he wants a yacht. And I like to remind him that he's Italian. He's 100% Italian. He's married to a pasty white Irish girl. So it's like, yeah, you can have a yacht. I just won't walk outside because I will crisp up and have sun poisoning and burn. Like I just picture myself like melting on the deck, like the yacht deck.
It's unfortunate for you.
It is unfortunate for me, but those are the things, you know?
Yeah. Well, a lot of those things are just things that I would like to do.
Yeah. With your other,
they're not really joint goals. They're just things that I would like to do at some point. And Kelly says that she wouldn't enjoy it out on a boat on the ocean, but she would, because there's a whole under deck, which is air conditioned.
Which is totally the point of a yacht, right? Where you stay inside all day.
It's not really Kelly's thing. Neither is having a plane, but these things.
No, having a plane is something I want a plane more than a yacht. It's true.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have it all, honey.
I'll charge you 5% less than commercial rates. How's that? To use my plane. Maybe
I could just take your yacht. I'll just go to coastal cities.
Right.
We'll have to go down the Panama Canal.
You'll have to plan out a little further in advance, I think.
We'll have our yacht tour. People can come on our yacht for trainings.
No.
Well, I mean, hey, it's a
so how is it our yacht all of a sudden?
Well, if marital assets. We also talk about the comp, so it'd be like the helicopter pad on the yacht could be my part.
You're getting rambunctious.
Maybe a little bit here. Anything else you think that people should know about us?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I want to say Andrew's my biggest cheerleader. So I know a lot of people get a little concerned, like, is your husband okay? I'm like, he's here. Are you okay?
I'm great.
with my travel schedule?
Yeah, I'm in the background doing my own thing.
I think one of the things is we don't have kids. And so that's a big difference.
Yep.
If we had kids, I feel like it would not be, well, I don't know. I have this kind of feeling on it. Like men travel all the time for work and wives stay home and help with the kids. Like it's not that unfathomable.
I mean, it would be difficult because a lot of, I work a lot and I have my own goals that I
got to give them a
work toward every day. And, you can't just pawn your kids off on.
I mean, there's no doggy daycare for
exactly,
kids.
Yeah. So I feel that would be a lot more difficult, but.
That is another thing we didn't talk about. We've always wanted a house manager on the 10-year goals.
This is all, yeah. This is one of the things that I really want.
Someone that would do the house cleaning, the dog walking, the grocery shopping, the meal prep.
I do not like doing that stuff myself.
I don't either.
Well, you don't have to do it as much as I do. You're not around.
No, but I do it on the weekends. It's enough.
It is.
So a house manager.
I don't mind paying for stuff like that.
Well, if it frees us up to do the things that, we can convert on. Right?
What?
What? All right, let's ask Andrew just a few fun questions as we wrap up here. I think he's fading fast. He says, by the way, he's going to start a podcast.
Maybe.
Okay. What's your favorite app on your phone?
Oof. Wow.
I think it's realtor.com.
No, I don't. I mean, it's okay. It's really my TD Ameritrade account app.
There you go.
Because I'm constantly on there setting up buys and sells, and I probably use that app more than anything else.
Mine is the 75 hard app.
You are into that now, man.
Yeah. So he did 75 soft with me, as we're calling it, which basically was you ate healthier, drank more water.
Yep.
Was there anything else you did?
No, I'm sure. I don't remember.
So I did the full 75 hard. He just ate healthier, drank more water, and he lost a ton of weight in the process too. But I like the structure it gives you for every day. Like, do these things and good things will happen. And it's true.
Yeah, I do. I think it's a good thing. I think people need structure. At least a lot of people do.
I do.
And it's good for you.
Next question. What are you reading right now?
Jordan Peterson book. I think it's 12 Habits, it's called.
Yeah. We listened to it in the car ride to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
He's Canadian.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good book.
I'm not done yet, but yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got an interesting viewpoint on things.
What's your favorite color?
Blue. Dark blue, though.
Not the color of the Mustang, the race car?
Yeah, that's dark blue.
It's like Smurf blue.
No, it's definitely.
I think he's colorblind. What's your favorite vacation you've ever taken?
Washington, D.C.
That one was really good.
Yeah. Had a good time there.
Yeah. There was one thing we should have done though. We stayed at the Trump Hotel, which not a political statement. He wasn't president at the time even.
No, I should have had them savor the champagne.
No, he was president at the time. He had just gotten in.
Oh yeah.
He was just president,
yeah,
because
right.
he was
he hadn't even been inaugurated yet.
No, he had.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Who was there? The Japanese prime minister was there. And then while we were there,
it was Shinzo Abe at the time.
When we were there, we saw his chopper take off to Air Force One so he could go to the G8 summit in Canada. And he left early, and that was the first meeting with him and Kim Jong-un.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember watching. It was like the middle of the night.
That was a nice place, though. DC was.
Listen, you don't have to like him as a president. That was the best service of any hotel we've ever stayed at. Yeah,
the hotel was phenomenal. I've stayed at several really, really highly rated hotels, but that place was it was so clean, and all the staff was very friendly and helpful.
You never saw a maid cart. They had secret passageways with little bag, I don't know,
it was just, the place was immaculate. I mean, everything was fantastic. The service, the room was great. The
spa was great.
The city was nice and clean. Anybody who says there's no money in politics is lying, because you can
there was a lot of money in DC.
And it was all from the politicians. So
yeah, it was before COVID.
They had great restaurants there. I had some of the best meals I've ever had were there.
The Smithsonian's are super cool, minus all the children.
It was just, we went at a rough time. It was, there was a lot of screaming kids around.
We went for your birthday.
Which was
June.
Tough, because in the middle of trying to listen to one of the tour guides, tell you about something, or you're trying to read something, there's some kid hollering at the top of his lungs, or not even a little kid, even high school kids.
Sometimes adults.
Yeah.
Sometimes
adults yelling at the kids.
Yeah.
But that was a good time. I liked it there very, very much, actually.
Yeah. DC, we always talk about going back. But it's all different with COVID and everything now.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So I don't think we'll go back anytime in the next few months, even though it's so close. It's only a 45-minute plane trip for us.
Yep.
So nice and easy.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other questions I should ask you. Oh, what's the number one thing I do that drives you crazy? Like,
you want to plan every minute of the day?
I do. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I try to hold off for hours before asking until it bubbles over and eats me up alive.
I can't plan. It's not even that. I have to plan meticulously all the different divisions that I'm in charge of at my job all day. And then when I'm on my own time, I don't really want to plan that meticulously. I still have a plan and a rough idea, but Kelly here, breakfast has to be at 6:45, and then at 7:25 we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go to do. And I'm like, no. How about if I want to get up a little later?
But then it's like, then there's like no structure today. So I feel like I'm just sitting around waiting.
So relieving.
But like, I have things that I want to do. And then he's going to just be like, you want to go now? And I'm like, no, I'm doing other things. Like, a plan just helps honors everybody's time.
A rough outline of a plan is fine, but the whole minute by minute, play by play thing is a little much for me sometimes.
I also have this feeling,
but a lot of times it works.
I have this philosophy about marriages though. Like, people don't get married. Like, two early birds don't get married. Like, I'm the early bird. He's the night owl. Shower temperature, I'm scalding hot. He is like ice cubes. So it's like, I feel like there's just certain things where like you can't get married to the same person. I'm a planner. You're not. Like,
I don't agree with that. I make a plan 95% of the time. A lot of times on my less time, I don't need to plan that meticulously. See, I also manage a lot more employees than you do, so it's a little different. And I have to make schedules for every one of them and then dictate what they do every minute of their day. And it's very, it's a pain in the ass.
I want to be clear. When I'm retired, I'll probably still want to plan.
That's fine.
It's ingrained in my soul.
Listen, and on a lot of times, if I'm doing a project or there's something I have going on besides different from work, I'll make a plan for that. It's just some days I'm like, okay.
So true.
When do you want to eat breakfast? I don't care.
I literally already have the groceries like in Instacart ready to be delivered for when we come home from vacation, because I want to get back onto healthy eating and not be tempted with takeout food like mushu.
Mushu. What is even mushu anyway?
I don't know.
Is that like a noodle dish?
Maybe we need one more day of vacation eating and have Chinese food on Sunday.
Oh, Chinese food.
Like one day. And then we go back on Monday.
4 weeks.
Yeah. So that's the other big thing. So he's way older than I am. He's 41. I'm 39. That's only because we are 39 days away from me turning the big 40. And so
I'm taking Kelly to Hawaii for her 40th birthday.
Yes. Originally it was supposed to be an African safari, but damn COVID stole that. We just didn't think it was, I don't know. When we had to make a decision on it, that just seemed like it wasn't going to be a big thing. And here's the funny part about my birthday. I never have a good birthday.
No, since I've known Kelly, because it's always on Thanksgiving week, her birthday. We're usually at
some of it's family related, right? Like,
we're usually at some terrible family dinner.
Yeah. So before, my family has a lot of challenges. So we used to all go out to eat due to some restrictions on people being in other people's homes due to miscellaneous.
So the last 5 years, we've been at some buffet in Connecticut, it wasn't terrible.
It was easy for my grandmother to get in and out of without stairs. Yeah. And
it was a place her brother was allowed in.
It was a place my brother's allowed in. That's another thing.
It was very public, so there wouldn't be any, problems.
Yes. So we had to do that. And my grandmother passed away last year. So that wasn't a possibility. So this year we got
it was close to your dad's when he was alive.
Yes. And when he didn't have a license, so it was easier for him. So see, we've got family things, but who doesn't?
As is everybody. Right?
As is everybody. Yeah.
So trying to juggle that, it's just, and then, the days that were available around the family things, I was never able to really get a good birthday set up for her.
Well, and travel Thanksgiving week it's outlandish. Like,
even locally though, I tried to do things locally to places in Rhode Island, and it was just it was terrible.
I've just basically resigned myself
years.
that like growing up, like a common thing would be like my birthday would be the day before Thanksgiving and my family would just be like, well, we'll celebrate on Thanksgiving. Or like my birthday would be like Black Friday and it'd be like, here's the thing though, we just celebrated Thanksgiving. So
it took a little cajoling on my part to get Kelly to acquiesce to me wanting to have a nice spectacular birthday for her on her 40th birthday.
Well, when you look at what it costs to go in June someplace versus like going someplace on your actual birthday when it's Thanksgiving week, it's like 4 times as much. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. Plus, I had all 4 grandparents alive up until very recently.
This is true.
The past 5 years, that's changed. Now I've got 1. So it's also, there's like the Irish Catholic family guilt of, hey, this could be the last Thanksgiving with your grandparents, you know?
Well, we're doing it.
We're doing it. We're going to Hawaii for 10 days or something like that, 9 days.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And again, African safari was the first choice. We wanted to see the giraffes. He doesn't really have much of a desire to go, but
it's not true. I just think it's a very expensive trip.
So is Hawaii.
Mm.
But we get the benefit of all the points I have. So there's that.
Good point.
But the reason he told me in Hawaii was I will turn 40 at the last possible place in the United States of America. So I will actually be 39 longer than most people.
Still old.
41. 41. So that's a little bit about us. I know this was probably a different podcast, not insurance related, but I had some time. I could snag him up. Lots of people don't know him. A few people, he's come to a few insurance events. He came to New Orleans.
I've met a few people, yes.
He met Jeff and Una Roy, and he gave the infamous terrible joke to Una because even though he doesn't have children, he has dad humor.
Dose Roy?
Yeah. And luckily she laughed. So if you ever see Una, you can call her Dose Roy because that's what my husband referred to her as in New Orleans for a whole dinner.
I do tell a lot of bad jokes.
Where else have you gone?
Oh, we went to that thing in Tennessee.
Oh, when we had that really good steak.
Yep. Well, I've been to a few of them.
What was that? It was Elevate.
I've had the privilege to meet a few of you.
Yes. And you are friendly with Mr. Chris Paradiso.
I do like Chris. Yes. Chris is a very good guy.
They text a lot. No, maybe not as much anymore, but
yeah, I do like Chris a lot.
Yeah.
Chris is a very good guy.
So we got that going on. So maybe he'll come to some more trips next year.
I like Chris a lot because as like myself, he doesn't really care what a lot of people think about him. So I'm on that wavelength.
This is also true statement.
You got to be true to yourself, not everybody else.
Maybe next year when you're self-employed, you could come to more insurance events.
Probably not, but you can keep yourself.
He doesn't, he's kind of bored at the insurance events.
Well, I mean, really, what am I going to do?
Well, you're
I like to travel and I like to go, like when we can mix it up, I don't mind doing it. Like when we went to Tennessee, we had a day or two of stuff for you. And then I got to see a place I hadn't been before.
Right.
And
we ate that bomb steak.
Enjoy myself afterwards.
Yeah.
But if it's just there to do insurance related stuff for you, I mean.
He is director of trade show management when he attends. So he's got a very big job of helping. You're not going to be in Tampa at IAOA unless you want to come. We haven't really talked about it. Want to go to Tampa?
Maybe.
It's in between now and Hawaii.
Oh, I don't think I can.
I know. So anyway, if there's someplace cool we can go, we're down. How does that sound?
I like it.
Well, thanks everybody for listening to us ramble here and drink some wine. Hopefully you're all having a good day, but thought you could meet my better half, my biggest cheerleader, the person who, no matter what, has never tried to change me or make me a different person. He just kind of gets me for who I am. So not everybody can say that. And I think it's time to end the podcast mostly because the sun is coming down and we have this weird exposure on us.
That's right. It's actually making me wince a little. So.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, honey.
Love you.
Love you too. All right. Well, what do you guys think of that? Isn't Andrew a great guy? He's my biggest cheerleader, biggest fan. Couldn't be doing what I do today without him. So even though I gave him a mini panic attack when I told him what I wanted to do, he has been 100% supportive. So I'm just so grateful for everybody in my life. And when this gets released, we will be within a week of me turning 40 on top of it all. So 10th wedding anniversary, 40th birthday, all sorts of fun going on here about getting older. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this, like it, rate it, share it. The more that you can do that for us, the better off it is. We don't have any sponsors because we just believe in putting out really great content for y'all. So take care and we'll see you soon.